What is up, party people? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike. I am a part-time reseller on eBay and a part-time YouTuber on YouTube. Hope everyone's sales have been great. If not, I wish you luck on getting those straight. Hopefully things just fall into line as we head further in the fourth quarter. I can't believe it. It's already end of October. I feel like we just started October yesterday. This is insane. Also, I'd like to thank everyone out there. You guys have been super awesome, super supportive of this channel and my content. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it. Hopefully, I can continue to entertain you guys and put out some great content for you. It wasn't less than like a week ago, I feel like I was saying that we had reached our 100 subscriber goal, and now we're at 185 subscribers already. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you. All right, so let's look at the numbers really quick before we jump into what sold and the topic of this video. Today, it is November 2nd, and we are sitting at 424 items currently listed on eBay. Our last 7 days, we are at a total of $772 in sales. And for this year, we are now at $20,412 for our yearly sales, which is awesome. But what does that really mean? I've had some questions, people wondering, what's the actual kind of take home? What are you putting into this business? I think it's easy for a lot of people to just say, hey, I sold this much money. But what did you actually bring home? How does that correlate into like everyday living if someone's looking to do this? So we're going to wade deep into the murky waters of numbers about a lot of things that YouTube resellers don't normally talk about, because it's not flashy. It's not fun when you actually break down the numbers to the nitty gritty of what someone actually would make selling on eBay. Everyone likes to talk about the big sale. Everyone likes to talk about the end total of the sale. But fees, shipping, other things, all that stuff goes into the equation. All right, like all my videos, before we really get into the nitty gritty, I'm going to go through everything that's sold since my last video. And then after that, we're going to break down, not every one of them, but a few of the sales, numbers wise, what it equals out to, what it looks like. When I show you, you're going to understand a little bit more, what goes into making money on eBay, how much you can kind of expect to make. A lot of factors go into that, though. We're also going to be taking a look at my October financial statement. We're going to look at that, and I'll show you kind of what a month of selling on eBay part-time can look like. Your numbers are going to be all over the place compared to my numbers, but you can get a kind of an idea about it. It all depends on, location, what you sell, how you promote, how you ship. All that stuff goes into how profitable your eBay business can be. But I just want you to know it's possible, even in this environment right now, to make a good living, if not just supplemental income on eBay. So let's cruise through these sales, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this video. All right, for some of you who haven't seen the last video, I was in the midst of promoting at eBay's recommended settings for their promoted ads. Since then, November 1st, I have done a full store reset again with end sell similar, and went with promoting all my items at the bottom of the barrel, 2%. All these next items that I'm going to tell you about that sold, these ones are the ones that sold over the weekend while we were still on the eBay recommended settings. So I'll let you know when we switch over to what's been selling back on our new store reset. All right, let's start off with this guy. We got the Snap-on Tools 4-piece drinkware set It's got 2 frosted pint glasses and 2 shot glasses in it also. It's a nice, fun little set. Snap-on is huge. I remember I talked to one guy. He sent me a picture of his entire basement filled with Snap-on tool stuff, and he was definitely into it. This guy sold for $27.99 plus shipping. Here we have the Adventure Time Character Collage Snapback Trucker Cap. This guy's been sitting around for a while. It's not in the best condition, but there's not many of them out there. I did take an offer of $8 plus shipping on this hat. The unfortunate part about that is he hasn't paid. Star Wars, we have Anakin Skywalker's Jedi Starfighter Lego set. This is incomplete. It doesn't have Anakin, and I think it's missing about one piece, but everything else I think is there. And it's still sold for $30 plus shipping. This next item, I wish we had a button like this on eBay for all of us. We could just hit it and boom, everything would happen. It'd be done. We wouldn't have to do anything. It's the Staples Talking Easy button. And you hit it and it gives you some sort of phrases or motivational advice. I don't even know what it does because the batteries are dead on the inside because it's from like 2005. But it's exactly what the doctor ordered for eBay nowadays, is the easy button. This next boring item is something that I pick up whenever I find it. And they sell, some sell faster than others, but they seem to always sell. If you can find some genuine OEM ink, it doesn't matter if it's expired or not expired or best by date, this stuff sells. People keep their old printers. They're not able to find the ink anymore, and they keep buying the ink from us on eBay. This guy was the 75 black and 75 tricolor combo pack for $19.99 plus shipping. Man, this candle actually smelled pretty good. It's a Glade 3-in-1 blended candle, berry, and some other scents in it. It's a retired discontinued scent. Not as valuable as like those Yankee candles where they can get like $50, $100 depending on the scent. But I picked it up for real cheap and I sold it for $10 plus shipping. I'm just glad they waited till the weather got a little cooler to ship this guy out. Otherwise, I would hate to see what that candle looked like when it arrived. Straight out of the 80s, we are back to the Rainbow Bright Puppy Dog. This is from 1983. This is actually the second one I found in less than 3 months. It's actually crazy how something from like 1983, you can find multiples of them. You know, sometimes you'll find something at the thrift store and you'll be like, holy crap, this thing's old. It's going to be the holy grail. There'll be none left. You look on eBay and you're like, there's like 100 of them. And then there's other things that are scarce. It's crazy what's still available out there from that time era, though. This guy, he's not a huge seller. When I first found the first one, I was like, oh my gosh, a Rainbow Bright from the 80s. But it only sold for $10 plus shipping. But it's still a nice profit considering I think I paid $1 for it. This is the last sale we had from the weekend when we were still promoting what eBay thought would be the best recommendations for our listings. And this one was a new old stock item. It's vintage. I don't know if they're buying it to hopefully use it or it's just a collector. But it is the Black & Decker Storm Light Versa Pack 3.6 volt emergency light flashlight. It has a base station. You attach it to your wall, and when the lights go out, you have a flashlight ready to go, and then there's a backup battery for it. With it being as old as it is, I'm really hoping it's more of just like a collector item because I don't know how those batteries hold up over 20 years. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. Now on to the sales since November 1st when I did the full store reset again. And I tell you, I am loving the full store reset. It gives you an option to spur sales no matter what's going on. Now, The thing that kind of sucks is, you have like someone like me has like over 400 listings. I only have 1,000 per month for what I pay for. So I do it a couple times and I'm up against the wall. I'm really contemplating now upgrading to the next level if this is something that I'm going to constantly be using as a sales tool. I'm not 100% sure yet because I don't want to pay the extra money for the store, but we'll see. The other thing I don't want to do is all of a sudden start paying for the extra store, then eBay's like, hey, what are you guys doing? Stop it. Stop it. So I have a little hesitation like that, but as far as the and sell similar full store reset, I am all aboard. And if you guys have not come from Jeff's channel, if you're just starting out with my videos, make sure you go to the channel Hayfro Sells. Jeff is an amazing guy. Check out his content. He's what got me started on YouTube to begin with. He's a very genuine guy, just kind of tells it how it is. It's Jeff and Jack, known as Jail Stanton 1968. Both of those guys have been doing a lot of research on that end cell similar and brought it to the forefront for a lot of us to try and kind of report back our experience with it. And I tell you, I'm excited about it, and I'm glad they brought it up. Will it stay being effective? Who knows? By the time we all start doing it, eBay's going to update their website, and then it's going to be like they'll have to do the complete opposite of that to get sales now. So head over to the Hayfro Sells channel, say hi to Jeff for me, and I know you're gonna dig his channel. Item number 1 on the store refresh. We got the, I think you pronounce it Roche. I don't know. Roche AF Super Camera, 35 millimeter. I mean, maybe back in the day this was the best camera ever. They're calling it the Super Camera. But I wish I could find more 35 millimeter film cameras. There's a lot of value in them, and people love buying these things up. This guy sold for $49.99 plus shipping. And if you're wondering how I test them out, I don't have any film to test if they actually take pictures or not, so I just put them through the ringer as far as mechanically, if everything works mechanically on them, and then I just put that in the description. Farming Simulator 20 for the Nintendo Switch. This was actually a really odd sale. So over the weekend, someone sent me an offer on this for, I think it was like $15 or $20, something like, I think it was $20. And then I counter offered with 23, and it sat for like over 12 hours, almost a full day. And then the offer got declined. So when I did the full store reset, I wasn't even thinking about it. All of a sudden, I hear my phone go off, cha-ching. I look, and Farming Simulator has sold for full price. And I look, and it was actually the same person that declined my offer for $23. So I'm kind of confused on that, unless they thought I was a different seller when I did the store reset. I'm not sure, but it kind of worked out in my favor a lot better, because not only was I promoting at 2% now versus they probably were charging me like 11% on the eBay recommendations, but they paid full price for it on top of that. So I guess it worked out. They paid $24.99 plus shipping. Another Breyer horse. This is the Proud Arabian Stallion number 212, Mahogany Bay. I actually have sold another one of this exact same one earlier. It was in like mint condition. I got $65 for it. This one has some marks and scuffs on it. I set it for $50 because it has some cosmetic issues. They offered me $40. I said, why not? Because I think each one of these horses I picked up for a buck or two. And then that sold then for $40 plus shipping. Here's another funny sale and story. This guy right here is the Nintendo Game Boy Pokemon convertible case fanny pack. It's like a dual purpose. This one, I've been getting offers on it from the same people. So I've done the store reset, I think, like 3 or 4 times. And each time, the same people see the thing, they like it. I mean, they watch it, they send me offers, and then I counter offer. And they're always lowball offers. We go back and forth. I send my offers, they go up a little bit. And we did this for a week and a half now, maybe 2 weeks. I can't remember when we first did the store reset. Well, the same person came back again, and we finally reached an agreement on the price. It just took multiple store resets. This one, though, sold for the end game of $38 plus shipping. The final sale that I've gotten before I made the video is the OEM PlayStation 3 DualShock 6-axis controller. These are pretty awesome. They sell good, and was going back and forth with this guy, and he sent me an offer of like 12. I responded back with 23. Sent me an offer for 15. I responded back with an offer of 21. And then he responded back with an offer of 15 again. So then I just declined the offer. And then about half an hour later, he sends me an offer for 17, and I decided to take it. If you guys ever need to test out remotes, I think the program is called SCO Toolkit, and you can install drivers onto your computer and then test out certain controllers. It's very helpful if you don't have every system available to you. So let's get into those numbers we were talking about. I'm going to cherry pick a couple sales I've had, and I'm going to take some really low value sales, maybe some mid value sales, and some high value sales. And you can kind of see where everything has fallen for each one of those items. I'll let you know how much I paid for them. So let's start off with this guy. This is Play Monster, My Singing Monster. This guy I know, let's see, I picked up for $3.99. I walked by it at the thrift store and I just knew it looked unique. And then when I looked it up, I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. All right, so if you see, the item sold for a total of $263.15. Now you minus $15 sales tax that eBay collected. That doesn't come off of my sale. That's just an additional charge they charge the buyer, but it has to take it off the total. And then you look at transaction fees. I had to pay $30 practically for transaction fees. The shipping label came off of there. That's $7.85. I don't offer free shipping, so that didn't cost me any money either. That's out of the buyer. They paid that. And then you can see I had ads on this one. So I had to pay an additional $13.42 in ads. You subtract all that rigmarole, it brings it down to $197.33. So that would be my net earnings on that sale. Now, if you subtract the cost of goods, we're at approximately $193 profit on that. So some items, really good. Was I upset that they took that much for ads and fees? I mean, it would be nice to make that much more, but when you paid $3, $4 for an item and you made like $200 practically, it's hard to complain on that. All right, we'll look at this guy since it's a really, really cheap sale. They're not all home runs. And, I learned from my lessons not to buy items like this going forward. But for video purposes, let's take a look at it. So we got the vintage Teddy Grahams plush bear, chunky chocolate. And we look at it, it's an order total of $10.92. Minus the tax collected from the buyer, which is 27 cents. Transaction fees, which is $1.51. And then the shipping label that the buyer paid for, bringing my total earnings for that sale to $4.26. Now my item cost for this one, I believe it was either 50 cents or $1. So minus that from my $4.26, I made approximately $3.26. So was this sale worth it? No. But I did sell it, and I still made money on it. And you don't lose money until you just get rid of it or donate it. As long as it's there, you don't lose money. All right, and let's look at some of the recent ones we did, because they were in the video. We'll just look at the let's look at the DualShock. For the DualShock, you see order total $27.23. eBay sales tax collected from the buyer minus $2.48, minus the transaction fees that eBay charges was $3.33, and then minus the shipping label that the buyer paid for is minus $4.69. That brings the total earnings for this order to $16.73. This item, I believe, costed $2.99 at the thrift store. So minus $3 from that, we have a total profit on that item of $13.73 approximately. All right, let's do one more, and then I'll break down the financial statement for October. And we'll take a look at Farming Simulator. Order total came to $32.17, minus the sales tax that the buyer paid, $1.68, minus the transaction fees, $3.88, minus the buyer paid shipping, $4.06, and minus the ad fee of 64 cents. That brings the total earnings of that item to $21.91. This one costed me $2.99. They usually charge, like for any video game, $2.99. So we'll see, approximately $22 minus $3 brings it to about a total net profit of $19 for that video game. All right, so moving on over to October's financial statement. This will give you a good overview about kind of what you can make part-time on eBay. And I'll tell you kind of a breakdown of the hours I put in, and then a kind of a breakdown to what that would equal out as far as what you make on eBay versus what you would have to do in your real life to make that same money. So let's get into it. Look at this report here. It's from last month, October 1st through October 31st. We're going to look at total sales. We just creeped over the $3,000 mark, $3,000.12. eBay collected $176.75 in taxes, and total selling costs after that was $1,085.21, bringing us down to a net sales of $1,738.16. Total quantity of items sold in that month of October was 79 items. Not my highest, not my lowest, but a really nice amount. And then the average sales price per item, it dipped a little bit from where I was, but $37.98 per item I sold on average. So that's a real nice average. So being part-time for me is really part-time. I work a full-time job, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and I do whatever I want to do as far as my eBay business after that. So, for instance, on average, I'll work 1 to 2 hours a day. It's all dependent on how I feel, what I want to do for that day. So, somewhere between, I'd say, 10 and 14 hours are spent a week on my eBay business. Typically, I go sourcing once a day. I just stop at the Goodwill on my way home. It's literally right next to my house. And I'll spend about half an hour If it's really good, I'm really looking for stuff, an hour at the most. And then later in the evening, I will spend maybe an hour listing, half an hour shipping if there's a bunch of stuff to ship out. So it equals out to approximately 2 hours a day at the most. There are days I don't do anything though, and I pick and choose what I want to do. Now, if you were to do this, say, to make the same amount of money, if you were to take even the high end of my hours, which I think I figured out, say I worked 60 hours a month on my eBay business, which I don't think I even work that much. But some of the stuff I don't even consider work, like sourcing, going to the Goodwill. I love doing that stuff. That's fun to me. I don't even consider that part of the job. But for videos purposes, say I worked 15 hours a week times 4, which would be 60 hours in a month. And then you take my sales and divide it by 60. It comes down to approximately $30 per hour that I make on eBay. And what I'm going to compare it to is a part-time job. And, all right, in comparison to, say, a part-time job out there, say you make low end $15 an hour, you would have to work 30 hours a week at some other business, being out of your house, on top of what, I already work full time. So I'd have to work 30 hours a week on top of 40 hours a week to bring in the same amount of money I'm making on eBay, working max 15 hours a week. And I have the freedom to do whatever I want. Now, say you had a huge upgrade in your job, you found a part-time job that pays you $25 an hour, which not many part-time jobs are going to pay you that. You would still have to put in 18 hours a week to get to $1,800 for the month. And that's, again, leaving your house, clocking in somewhere, and working for someone else. That brings you to $1,800 for the month. And that just sounds awful. So some people might look at what I made for the month and go, God, you put in so much work. I didn't. I literally didn't. You just got to take pictures, put up listings, go sourcing, and ship stuff. And if I can do minimum work and be my own boss and have the freedom to do what I want and work when I want, versus having to clock in for a 4-hour shift after working an 8-hour shift, I mean, it's worth it. Can anyone do it? Of course. Is it easy? No. There's so many factors involved in it. But I'm just putting this out there to be transparent, to show you anyone can make money off of this. And don't let people tell you it's not worth selling some of this stuff on here. Even the lower end sales, they all add up. And at the end of the month, we're at almost $1,800. And I think my best month I've had this year was, it was either June or July. I want to say it was July. I had a net take home of $2,300, I believe it was. That's $600 more than I made this month. And this was a decent month too, even with all the issues going on. If someone told you you could work 60 hours and bring home $2,000 as a side gig and you just do it whenever you want, I think it's a no-brainer. Everyone would do it. The problem is it's not as easy as people think. When I tell people that I sell on eBay, they're like, oh, that's a nice hobby. Or they say, oh, you just put things online and sell them, huh? I've had plenty of people too, as they go, oh, can you show me how to do that? And then as soon as I start explaining things that go into it, they check out and they don't want to hear about it anymore, because it's a lot of tedious work. It's not like bad work. It's just, you have to go sourcing for a product. You have to have all the shipping supplies. You have to have room in your house to store all this stuff. It's not a glamorous profession by any means. No one's asking you what you do and you say, I'm a eBay reseller. And they're like, oh my God, I finally met one in the wild. You're awesome. No, they look at you like you're scum of the earth. But Would I change it for anything else right now? No. And I'm going to continue pushing on forward, hoping that the dream of going full time is still attainable. I'm just going to curb my expectations and push on forward steadily. And even if it never translates into full time, if I can continue making a part-time income of $1,500 to who knows what, I want to continue doing that. I'd rather work for myself as a part-time job than someone else. The cool thing about eBay too is, in a way, you have unlimited potential income that you can make. You know, if you take a part-time job and they're like, you're going to make $15 an hour and you're going to work, 15 hours a week, you're never going to make more than what you're being paid, because you have a static amount of money that you're going to make. There's no going up, and it's only going to go down if you leave early or something like that. But with eBay, if you want, at any given time, you could work faster, harder, longer, put in as many hours in sourcing into listing as you'd like, only able to grow the potential of income. Just because I made $1,750 for the month doesn't mean that's all I was able to make. I could have busted my rump and got that thing higher and higher, but I come home and I'm tired. I gotta cook. I gotta take my dog for a walk. I got family issues, all kinds of things. So I probably slack off more than I do, or more than I should. And at the same time, I make videos too now, which actually take up a good amount of time. I don't think people realize how much goes into making a video. You don't just sit in front of your camera and then just, things got to be somewhat well thought out, and it takes time to edit them. And, that takes away from listing and selling, but I enjoy doing it. It gives me a break from, the routine. I like routines, but at the same time, I like breaks from the routines too. But I hope this open look at what, you can and cannot make on eBay kind of solidifies what you believe already. Hopefully, if you're thinking I can make a good amount of money on eBay, it's solidified that belief. Yes, I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to continue to do this, and I'm going to see it through. If you're someone that's looking at it and you think that's chump change, well, that's on you, and you believe what you want to believe, and no one's going to tell you otherwise. If you enjoy working part-time for someone else and being out of your house, go for it. I mean, some people actually enjoy that. They don't want any of the responsibility that goes with your own business and storing things and shipping things and listing things and taking pictures of it. But I like that it keeps me busy. I find it fun. I find it mentally engaging. I mean, what else am I going to be doing if I get home from work? Just go sit on the couch and channel surf on the TV, or sit on my phone going from video to video? I'd much rather be making money, to be honest. Well, I think this video gets the point across. I think I've talked long enough on the subject, but if you still have any questions about certain things when it comes to money-wise and what you can make on eBay, feel free to ask questions. I am not an accountant, nor do I pretend to give out financial advice. I'm just showing you what my business looks like from the inside out. Leave a comment below what you think about this and kind of how your business is doing. Also, if you haven't and you're still watching this video, subscribe, comment, share. I really appreciate that. But I gotta head out, gotta make some dinner. So, until next time.
You're making $500,000 on this deal?
Roughly.
I cannot believe you.
Rose, listen to me. I can explain.
You are making $500,000 and you were only going to pay me $30,000?
You're getting 30 grand? I'm getting 1,000.
You guys are getting paid?